Hey everybody, welcome to Missimo Motivation. My name is Chris from Missimo. I'm a licensed therapist, and today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 things that are misunderstood when it comes to depression. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, again, welcome to Missimo Motivation. We're going to cover the 5 things that I think are commonly misunderstood when it comes to depression. So, number 1 is it takes multiple symptoms to be diagnosed. So I'll have a client come to me and they'll say, Chris, I can't sleep, or I'm sleeping too much, or they'll say I'm eating more, I'm binge eating. And those are all potential symptoms of depression, but they alone do not qualify you to be diagnosed with depression. You cannot just have a few instances of a few symptoms and then say, well, I'm depressed now. That's not how it works. We do have a threshold of symptomology that you require to get diagnosed. So that's a good thing. That should be a good thing for you and for those that you see that you think may be struggling with depression. If they don't have 4, 5, 6 symptoms, then we're probably not going to classify them with depression just yet. The second thing is you don't just get over it. Okay, so I've literally had parents, and I obviously can't say who, but I've actually had parents say, well, we go into his or her room and we tell him to just go outside and exercise and he'll be fine. And while there's a lot of research to say that exercising and getting sunlight and being in the environment, those can push away depressive symptomology, decrease the likelihood that you sustain it or create it. Once you're in it, it's not as if you can just get up and go. That's not how it works. There's a neurological change that takes place in the brain, which is beyond the scope of this video. But it's not just that you show up and be like, you know what, you should probably go get some sun, man. You look a little down. You should just go for a walk. It doesn't work that way. It's very systemic. It's very cyclical. It's very ingrained. There's a neurological pattern going on in the brain, and it just doesn't work that way, okay? The third thing is there are multiple types. You have seasonal depression. You have depression with anxious distress. You have depression with mixed features. You have depression with psychotic features. You have mild, moderate, and severe depression. You have recurrent depression. You have single episode depression. There is not one all-encompassing form of depression. So you can present to me with depressive symptomology, and I'm not going to treat you the exact way that I would treat somebody else who presents with depressive symptomology. Because you're different. You have a different background. You enjoy different things. Or once enjoyed different things. If you're coming to me for depression, your family system is different. You're different. But also, the symptoms you're portraying will classify your diagnosis differently, which also changes treatment planning. So there is not just one size fits all depression. And again, there's not just I have 1 or 2 things and I'm depressed. There's a system here that takes place to actually qualify for a depressive diagnosis and to get treated for it. The fourth thing is that it's not just sadness, okay? In fact, I'd actually describe depression more as this place between existing and wanting to feel and not feeling anything at all. It's kind of as if you're in a haze in your life. A loss of pleasure, a loss of appetite, a loss of sleep, a loss of the things that typically give you energy or excitement. So you're existing, but you're not feeling as though you're existing, feeling as though you're living life. That's depression. It's not sadness. It's never been sadness. It'll never be sadness. It's not a rainy cloud that follows you around. It's bigger than that. It's more than that. The last thing is it is impacted by environment. Okay, so sure, and if we really want to dive into it, we can dive into the genetic components of depression. But we're not going to for this video. What you need to know is that it's not just mom had depression, so I have depression. Not how it works. A lot of them are actually environmentally based. Some studies will say up to 80% are onset by our environmental stimuli. So that could be the passing of a loved one. That could be losing out on a job. That could be a natural catastrophe. It could be all sorts of things that generate within you those depressive symptomologies that weren't there before. Okay, so it is not this thing that you just wake up and you're broken with and your brain is just not firing right and you're just a crippled individual mentally. That's usually not how it works. So guys, those are 5 things about depression that I hope clarify at least a little bit for you. Depression is at the point of this video, I think it's still the most diagnosed diagnosis in the United States of America. It is something that is real, but it's also something that is, like many of the other things I've talked about, you can watch my bipolar video, perpetuated incorrectly. It's a real thing. It's really harmful. It does exist in a lot of places throughout socioeconomic statuses, throughout ethnicities, but it is not this big, scary, I'm born this way, there's nothing I can do about it, there's only one type, and I only need one symptom to have it type of thing. I hope that this clarified that for you, so the next time that you feel like you or someone you know may have it, that you look at it a little differently, and that you get that individual in with a professional who's going to diagnose them appropriately. Do not use WebMD to diagnose depression. Please don't use WebMD. Oh God, don't do that. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, remember, mind, muscle, maximize.